So tell me what happened with Cohen.
Okay.
And how you found out what happened.
11 months old. He woke up with every 15 minutes just bent over, writhing in pain, and then would go to sleep. And that happened all night long. So we took him to the ER, and that he had probably constipation. So we took him home. That was a Monday, and he still had the pains throughout the week. So then we took him back to the ER on Friday, and the room filled with doctors, and they said he has a tumor size of a grapefruit in his little tummy. That started our journey through his cancer treatments.
What kind of cancer was it?
It's called rhabdomyosarcoma. So it's a solid tumor stemming from smooth muscle in his prostate. It was putting pressure on his little bladder, so it had elongated it up. And so the reason why he was having those pains is because he couldn't pee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they said it would be like kidney stone pains.
Oh my gosh, at 11 months old.
11 months old. Mm-hmm.
You got a diagnosis.
Took about a week to get the full diagnosis. We started chemo immediately. It started to shrink initially, the tumor did, and then we did 7 weeks, 5 days a week of radiation, and then we did testing again, and the scans showed that the tumor was shrinking. So we were thrilled, excited, and then a few months later, we did more scans, and it showed that it was growing again. They said the next step would be surgery. So it was just after Christmas. And so he was diagnosed in February, and then this is now Christmas. Right after, we did a huge surgery where they opened him up. They removed the tumor, his prostate, his bladder, part of his rectum. And he had a colostomy and a urostomy.
Do they put that stuff back inside? Like your bladder?
No.
You can live without a bladder?
Well,
Just
it's
with those
basically, yeah, just with the back. So it's just constantly.
And so he would have had that the rest of his life?
So the plan was to reconstruct a bladder out of his appendix. During that next spring, he had so many complications that it was a nightmare. And I honestly don't like to even think about certain times because it has created such PTSD for me.
Yeah.
But it was complete madness. I remember one time asking the team, so what do we think's going on? And they said, at this point, we don't know. He's a medical experiment. And we prayed about it, and we said either heal him or take him. And the next day, he had developed a fistula, which meant that had developed a hole between his intestines and his urinary system. Stool was backing up into his urinary tract.
Oh my.
So then they said, well, it'll probably heal on its own. He won't be able to eat or drink for at least 6 months. And he'll have to be on antibiotics because he'll probably get tons of infections, kidney infections, and that could lead to kidney failure, dialysis, and then kidney transplant. So knowing what we had ahead with all the surgeries still that we had to do, we decided to take him home on hospice. Half the team just couldn't believe that we were doing that. And I felt like this is no quality of life.
No.
So Tyler, my husband, and I decided we would rather take on the pain of missing him every day so that he wouldn't be in pain anymore.
Yeah.
And we look at pictures and videos of his last days, and you can just see the pain that he's in. But at the time, we didn't notice it. So yeah, he passed away on April 6th, which is a very special day to us for so many reasons. Grieving is really hard because nobody tells you how grieving is going to affect you. And now, it's been 6 years when he passed. It still hits you. Like last night, I was just sobbing.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, just because you forget about everything. Yeah. And then you'll be fine and have some hard moments, and then all of a sudden it will hit you again. But I knew that we still had 2 more children to come to our family. And so 6 months after his passing, we got pregnant with our youngest, Tatum. Being pregnant with him right around the year mark of Cohen's passing, I had severe depression and anxiety. I was always having panic attacks, and I started to really think about not wanting to be here. And I wanted to be with Cohen.